Recently, I showed you how to make redstone only trigger for certain players. However, I didn't go into any particular depth and there was a certain flaw in the system. This is based off how dogs and cats have a desire to assist their master in battle. So this works with all mobs, but I'm using testificates because they are both silent and persistent. So when you attack a mob, there is a specific zone around the mob where the dog and cat will try to assist you. So if I punch this mob, once I stand on one of these two blocks, the dog and cat will both try to assist me. So what that means is they'll try to move forward, which will in turn trigger this detector rail, which will trigger the redstone. And once they get to this point, they'll be shot back. Now the zone is actually very particular in that it's always on the southeastern side of the mob in question that you're hitting. So these two spots right here. Now it's important that you basically set up the system in a certain way. First off, the cat or dog should be facing you in this direction, so the resting position should be further away from you, if that makes sense. Also, you should try to keep the distance at least 8 blocks away. So from this block here to the actual certificate, that's 8 blocks, but from the actual mob to the dog or cat, that is 11 blocks. Now, the mob and the dog or cat don't actually need to be on the same level. It will work on different levels. However, when you change the level, the detection zone can increase on the northern side. I haven't seen it happen on the southern side, I can see it just extend north. And this actually varies by each level, so it can exceed 3 the higher you go. It's important to remember that this is based off you hitting the mob and not the mob hitting you. So regardless of how much you get attacked, the dog or cat will only actually respond if you yourself have hit the enemy. An interesting fact about this is the dog or cat will actually remember which mobs you've hit. So because of this, the mob doesn't even need to be in sight, and it will still detect it. So as you can see, the detection zone on this is actually quite large because we've gone quite far up above the dog and cat. So if we stand here, the redstone will still trigger because we've actually already hit this mob and we don't need to hit him again. And because he's persistent, we can basically completely conceal it. Now this has a very large range of 134 blocks between the mob and the dog or cat. Now ultimately this is its downfall because of that large range, any mob you attack in that area will trigger the redstone, which isn't necessarily what you want in a secret room basically. Now there is actually a solution to this, which I will show you shortly. By simply adding some pistons and redstone, we can basically disable the device as long as you're not on the specific area. Now this obviously tosses away the idea of it being completely hidden, because if someone sees the pressure plates, they'll know something is there. However, it will still only detect the owner of the dog or cat, like so. Now if you still don't quite understand why this is so important, then I will explain further. Basically what this means is you can make redstone only work for certain players. Now this is so very important for things like secret doors because it will literally only open for you. There is no workaround for it. It's not a password or something which someone could potentially get. Nobody will share your username, which is how this basically works. Now, with the exception of breaking the door or breaking the walls, which is really nothing you can protect against in a completely survival environment, this is quite literally the most secure door you're going to get. If you learnt something from this and would like to see more of me, please feel free to leave a rating, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.